Let's set the stage. It's 1969, and Neil Young is at a crossroads. At 24, he's already a music veteran, fresh off stints with Buffalo Springfield and a solo debut that was solid but overly polished. He was restless, searching for a sound that matched the raw emotion in his head. Enter Crazy Horse, a bar band with a rep for loose, unpolished energy. Danny Whitten on guitar, Billy Talbot on bass, and Ralph Molina on drums. They clicked instantly in basement jams in Laurel Canyon. In just a few weeks at Hollywood's Sunset Sound with producers David Briggs and Neil himself, they cut Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere, a 40-minute blast of ragged glory that hit number 34 on the Billboard 200 and went gold. This is the album that gave us Cinnamon Girl, Down by the River, and Cowgirl in the Sand, and cemented Neil Young as a force of nature. Welcome to Album Archives, where we dig into the top 300 albums of all time, as voted on by fans of the Music Rewind podcast. I'm your host, Steve Epley, and today we're diving into a record that's raw, rugged, and revolutionary. Number 290, Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere, by Neil Young with Crazy Horse. Released in 1969, this is the album that took a Canadian folk rocker and transformed him into a gritty electric trailblazer. We'll unpack its creation, its primal sound, its wide-open spirit, and why over 50 years later, it still feels like a lightning bolt. So grab your headphones, crank the volume, and let's ride into Neil Young's wild, dusty world.
Hello, cowgirl in the sand. Hello, cowgirl in the sand. Is this place at your command?
Why is Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere such a landmark album? It's Neil Young unfiltered, gruff, soulful, and fearless. This is the album where he found his voice, both literally and musically. His reedy and recognizable tenor, raw and unpolished, carries a yearning that cuts deep, and Crazy Horse's loose, garage band vibe gives it a primal edge. The album kicks off with Cinnamon Girl, a one-chord proto-grunge anthem with that iconic guitar crunch. It's a love song wrapped in distortion, with Neil Young singing about a city girl on a 10-speed. Simple, direct, and electrifying.
I wanna live with a cinnamon girl. I could be happy the rest of my life with a cinnamon girl.
Then you've got the twin epics that close each side of the vinyl, Down by the River and Cowgirl in the Sand, both clocking in around 10 minutes. These aren't just songs, they're journeys. Down by the River is a dark, hypnotic groove with dueling guitars that feel like a conversation between Neil and Danny Whitten. Cowgirl is a sprawling desert dream with solos that twist and soar like a dust storm. I've had many debates with my brother over which one's better, but they're both raw, emotional, and unapologetic. The album's not all electric fury, though. Round and Round, It Won't Be Long is a haunting acoustic ballad with Robin Lane's harmonies adding a ghostly warmth. Running Dry, Requiem for the Rockets is another slow burner, with Bobby Notkoff's violin giving it a mournful, almost Appalachian feel. And then there's the title track, Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere, a laid-back country-ish gem that's Neil poking fun at his own restlessness. It's got this own effortless charm to it, like a guy strumming on the porch after a long day.
Everybody seems to wonder what it's like down here. I gotta get away from this day-to-day running around. Everybody knows this is nowhere.
The production, handled by Young and Briggs, is deliberately rough, recorded live in the studio with minimal overdubs. It's not slick, and that's the point. You can hear the amps buzz, the drums stumble, the guitars wail. It's like you're in the room with them, and that rawness is what makes it timeless. The tracklist is lean. 7 songs, no filler. Side A starts with Cinnamon Girl, then flows into the gentle title track and Round before hitting you with the marathon that is Down by the River. Side B keeps the intensity with the losing end, When You're On, a rollicking country rocker about heartbreak, followed by Running Dry, only to close out with the odyssey that is Cowgirl in the Sand. At 40 minutes, it's compact but feels expansive, like a road trip across the open plains. Every song has room to breathe, especially those long jams where Neil's guitar speaks as much as his voice. One fascinating fact, Down by the River and Cowgirl in the Sand were allegedly written in one feverish day while Neil was sick with a 103-degree fever. If that's not rock and roll, I don't know what is.
Down by the river, I shot my baby. Down by the river.
Thematically, Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere is about searching for love, for meaning, for a place to belong. Cinnamon Girl's a restless ode to an idealized woman, while Down by the River and Cowgirl in the Sand wrestle with darker emotions, loss, betrayal, maybe even violence. The acoustic tracks like Round and Running Dry feel like moments of introspection, a counterpoint to the electric sprawl. It's an album of contrasts, urban and rural, loud and quiet, personal and universal. Recorded in early 1969, it came out when rock was exploding. Woodstock was months away, the Beatles were wrapping up Abbey Road, and Dylan was going country with Nashville Skyline. Neil carved his own lane, blending folk's sincerity, rock's raw power, and a touch of country's twang. It's like a bridge between the Byrds' jangle and the Allman Brothers' southern sprawl.
Oh, please help me. Oh, please help me. I'm living by myself.
Let's put that iconic 1969 in context. The counterculture was peaking, but so was the backlash. Altamont was just around the corner, and the Manson murders had shook Los Angeles. Rock was splitting into a million directions. Led Zeppelin's debut brought heavy blues, while Crosby, Stills, and Nash, Neil's future bandmates, leaned into harmony-drenched folk. Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere stood out for its rawness. It wasn't polished like CSN or bombastic like Zeppelin. It was Neil and Crazy Horse playing like their lives depended on it. The album went gold, peaking at number 34, and while it didn't spawn massive radio hits, Cinnamon Girl did become a staple of rock rotations. Critics, like those in Rolling Stone, praised its uncompromising intensity, though some found its looseness sloppy. Its influence is massive, though. Bands like Pearl Jam, Nirvana, and Wilco owe a debt to Neil's raw, emotional guitar work. Sadly, Kurt Cobain even referenced Down by the River in his suicide note, a haunting nod to its power.
Round and round and round we spin till we.
Why does this album endure? First, its authenticity. Neil and Crazy Horse play with zero pretense, just heart and grit. Second, its versatility. Those long jams are balanced by concise, soulful ballads. Third, its emotional depth. Whether it's the yearning of Cinnamon Girl, the desperation of Down by the River, or the resignation of the title track, every song feels lived in. The cover art nails it too. A grainy photo of Neil leaning up against a tree, staring into the distance, with a dog at his feet. It's simple, unpretentious, and a little lonely, just like the music. For me, this album is personal. It's the sound of late-night music debates with my brother, and chasing dreams you can't quite name. It's Neil Young at his most elemental, proving one guy with a guitar and a band can shake the earth.
Only love now to change your name. When so many love you, is it the same? It's the woman in you that makes you wanna play this game.
One final tidbit. During recording, Neil was obsessive about capturing that live feel. He'd push Crazy Horse to keep takes loose, even if they weren't perfect. That's why Cowgirl in the Sand has those gloriously unhinged solos, Neil and Danny trading licks like they're dueling in a bar fight. It's not about precision, it's about feeling. You can also hear it in The Losing End, too, a track that's sloppy in the best way, like a honky-tonk band on their third round of whiskey. If you haven't spun Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere lately, do yourself a favor. Grab the vinyl, pop in that old CD or cassette, or stream it. It's a journey through wide open spaces, raw emotion, and blistering guitars. New to it? You're in for a ride with a guy who plays like he's got nothing to lose. For me, it's not just Neil Young's best, it's one of the rawest, realest albums ever made. That's it for this edition of Album Archives. If you enjoyed it, please share it with a friend or leave a review wherever you listen. Next up is number 289, Hysteria by Def Leppard. Check out the top albums list over on musicrewindpodcast.com to see where we're at and where we're headed. For now, I'm Steve Epley, and as I always say, listen to the full album. Until next time.
A podcast from the Hysteria Media Group. Back to you, anchors.